Oh, probably in the shade.
I'll switch sides.
As usual. I'm like always
Shady. One day we'll see. You'll join me in the light.
That's true.
And
But
then slowly
like
I'll melt into the shadows,
it
and I'll be
seems
like,
I like it in the being in the dark.
I like the dark too. I don't want to be like golden guy.
Yeah. Now you are that.
As long as it's not one of these golden shadows. Those are pretty.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. Let me know if that's the case.
Yeah.
I had one of those. I had to get to know. Probably a couple more in there.
Love, I would like you to place us where we are.
We're sitting on a sloping concrete dock, such that we had to change our position in case that the camera fall into the river behind us. It's the Russian River in Sonoma County. And it's a beautiful spring day. In terms of when we are we're in the like a slightly on the other side of a weekend of just some heavy feeling things for both of us. And we're feeling, it feels to me like quite the way that when you sort of make it through something together, I'm feeling like we're both connected and a bit tired and a bit like grizzled, and I'm feeling but yeah, I'm feeling grateful to be here, and quite connected to you in a brother sister kind of way, like in a sweet, like, wow, I love you. I'm so happy to be on the journey with you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's good to mention that we came yesterday. No, before yesterday. No, was it yesterday? Jesus, like that's even the time. But that we came out of this beautiful. For me, it was like a temple. This hot springs in Harbin, and came here. But maybe on my side, I was like expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, some kind of party, big roast, having fun and connecting with people. I think I told you this yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm ready to meet people. There was, maybe that's like I'm talking to, like there was a hope or something in me, not a hope, but like, oh, I'm gonna meet friends, and that hasn't happened, and it felt difficult. It felt very interestingly like we've entered a completely different field, and I kind of hit myself a little bit against like, whoa, this is hard for me to connect, and I disconnected not just from people but also from myself and from you yesterday, and which brought some old insecurities back about us. I can see that now. I'm like, wow, okay, I've disconnected, and right away I also disconnected from you, because, and then some old story of like, wait, who are we, what is this? And the questioning, which is exhausting. And today when we spoke by the river about home, which I feel like that would be a beautiful topic to talk about or share in this episode for Making Love, came. But there was also this, like, I told you, like, okay, I would like to promise you I'm gonna see when I'm disconnecting, because the reconnection constant is exhausting, and for you it's like then doesn't allow us to actually what we promised to each other, which we said, like, to be looking outside. Because if I need a reassurance that this is the relationship that I'm, and now I could go into it, but if there needs to be a
you could say some of those things. What
reconnection and reassurance that this is secure, this is
the relationship itself is a secure thing.
Yeah,
Is what gets
basically.
so you
The
disassociate
trust.
from yourself, and then you disassociate from, you create story. You're in your
Yeah.
mind. You're in a field, and there's all of these
And then
things.
I start to question, and that's exhausting, not just for my system, but then also for you, because then you feel like, oh my God, I have to tend her, I have to tend whatever she's going through to make sure that we are okay. But I would like to be like, no, we're okay no matter what, and I will stop. I'll see when I disconnect and see it as like, okay, this is just happening to me, but I'm not gonna question us, because that would not help anything about what we
All the things that
they're
we have.
dreaming,
Yeah.
and that we have. They're beautiful. And then the home came, kind of has been weaving here since I came back, because we are on a journey, and I could see myself as I'm journeying, and there's this now like relationship, and I'm subconsciously was still looking for home. And today, when you said something that to me was very new, which was like, because I told you like, oh, I ran away from home when I was 14, and it looks like I'm still looking for the home, and it's a big deep wound, and as I'm traveling, I'm not able to be fully present, because there is like uh behind thought, like, oh, maybe I could I make this home. Maybe that's also this like, where's the friends? Like looking for the community,
Constantly looking.
constantly in
Yeah.
the back, like, oh, maybe I'm gonna like love it so much here, and maybe they and maybe this is it. And then the disappointment, or like, it's stronger, and but it also doesn't allow me to be present, because then I'm more with these things that I'm secretly hoping and I'm not meeting.
Secretly big. Yeah.
And what I want to
'Cause I don't want
say,
home here.
yeah, no. But what I want to say to bring us into the topic of home was that you said, well, what if you actually don't know what home is? And what if you didn't run away from home, but what if you actually really never had it?
What if you ran away from something that wasn't home? Something that people were telling you was home, that your soul and your body knew wasn't. It didn't know what it was, but it knew that certainly wasn't it.
Yeah.
So what if that's what you escaped, and now you're on a journey to figure it out, to find out what it is?
Yeah.
And if then it can be this period, let's say this year is what we talked about, can be about you just being on a a fact-finding mission about what is home to me. Like, we're not. And so then in a fact-finding mission, you're not ever attempting to, you're not ever expecting to land in it, because you want to figure out all the different parts. You want to be like, okay, let me put together,
Because I don't know.
because you don't know, and you wouldn't want to be like, it's this, because you actually want to find out all the different sides of it. And so if you can then encompass, so you already know some things, and that's what we were talking about today, because you've found some places that gave you some parts. And ultimately, I think for me, when there's an intentional learning of something, what I talked about is I did this essentially with before I met you, with the like, what is relationship, like, and loving relationship, what is sacred relationship, and before I met you, and I essentially, what I got to is, I think I understand it, and now I don't ever have to do it. And then we met, and that's not what's happening. It's just generally not the case, but it's like, it's this way where from me studying it, I didn't want it anymore. I found all the places in myself where I was trying to make each woman and each attraction and each thing fit something that I
let go.
When I let go, and I was like, I want to understand basically all the ways that I'm fucked up, and in so doing, I want to understand, what would a good sacred relationship look like. And what I got to was a lot of rich discovery, and a belief that, okay, there are some people that touch it, but nobody actually has it. So as a species, we haven't landed it. And that feels good. I'm like, whoa, we haven't landed it. So now my job is to land it, so that my daughter and her daughter are a bit closer to sacred relationship. Like they can, because I really want that to be something that the species. But I, at the ripe old age of 40, was like, but I don't have to do it anymore. I'll do this as an offering fully, and that's clearly not what's happening. And I don't think that's what happening with home either. But I think I got excited today to embark on that discovery with you, because it's also something I realized. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just let it go in a lot of ways and have gotten to understand a few things, but I certainly don't. I don't have. It's a learning. So I'm like, well, I need a year at least to understand what does home actually mean inside my. I mean, I've told you, like in astrology, it's the in the chart in the wheel of all the different ways that reality is split up in the house system. 1/12 of reality is home, and is the understanding, and it's the most hidden place. It's the deepest place. Also, like a lot of things can live in there, but it's an archetypal and conceptual and psychic imprint. It's not a place with four walls in a town with like purple paint. You know, it's like, and it's not. I mean, it can be that, but it's also something else. And so I think for me, that feels rich for us to embark on.
Yeah. And so when you say that, I'm feeling this piece, which is, well, first of all, it's like, right, stop looking for it, because the more I will look for it, it will just not be here, because then I'm narrowing it's only the things that I know, so it can only lead to one way, and it can only lead to me not knowing, not finding it, because I never had it, or like so there's that. And there's also, it's like, okay, exploration of what it is will allow it to eventually land. But when you say this like 12 house and this place that is hidden, what I'm feeling here is, because we also talk about home, and I feel it's such a big topic, especially for us today, and I felt it during COVID a lot, like home, like wow, a lot of people then like flee out of cities and being like home, let me, it's just, so. And then we were talking about like home in the end, people are like, well, actually home doesn't exist, it's inside of you. Only when you find a home inside of you, that's when you can be at home. And today I felt this like, okay, right. So first, I do feel it. If I don't have it in me, I can't have it outside of me. That's for sure. Now, with this, like, it's a secret hidden place, almost comes to me like, it's a place where when I'm welcome. So it's a place where I can be all of me. And it's almost coming with this like, right, like, so if it's within me, can I actually do that for myself? Can I actually welcome all the me that feels unwelcome, and has to be like, where do I feel, where do I belong? No, like, hey, like, come, it's okay, you're welcome here. Maybe there's this like, you're home, I hold you, all the parts, all the and so I was feeling this like, okay, so home is where a place, it's actually not so much about safety, it's about all of me is welcome.
Yeah, because we're never fully finished being safe. It's like death's always coming.
Yeah.
So sorry, this is rich.
No.
Tell me.
And so there's like so the safety, I think that's just a byproduct, but it's this like, I am welcome. But if I don't welcome myself first inside of my body, and it's like inhabiting it in my home, which is these bones, this flesh, these organs, then all the wounds, if I don't accommodate and welcome them, create rooms for them and tend them with care,
get them to talk to each other, even if they don't like each
and,
other, you're like, hey, you two gotta like work some shit out.
Be okay with the mess and be okay with the inner. And then I think if I cannot hold that, and we talked about also like, then there's this tendency looking for home in another, So you were like, well,
Well, maybe,
it triggered me when you were like, oh, are you looking for a home in my body? It's not in
may
your
I say
body.
that's what you heard.
Yeah. Be careful.
um, I think I had a realization while you were talking based on your past relational, and what I've felt is and just my work and study with sacred relationship. It's like if we haven't done that, maybe to the degree that we haven't done that, then we're looking outside of ourselves for home.
Mm-hmm.
And we might try and find that. I think we fill that in all different ways. So like a house might be it, a yacht might be it, a whole bunch of cars might be it. But for many of us, love is it. So many of us, what fills that gap is then can be the love. And so we have a story and we're trying to fill the unmet places of ourselves. We haven't met home. And so I'm casting. And then for you, yeah, I was like, oh, there's a way where I can feel I just need a fucking safe space. And I can understand this with the feminine, especially. There's an idea that is maybe what the masculine is meant to be for the feminine. Just be there for me. And while at one level that's true, at another level, if the masculine and feminine haven't been married within, if you haven't found home and you're not fully functional there,
that's a codependence.
Then it creates it creates codependency. So I think that's what I was feeling. Just like, whoa, are you casting out? And yes, it triggered something.
It triggered because I am on a quest to not do that. So, but then I was like, oh, okay, it's triggering something. So there is still a work to do. But so I'm kindly accepting that there's still some work to do. And I'm also seeing that it's amazing because I'm working on it. So I'm consciously
it's like
being
90% of the way there. If you're like, I'm on a path and I'm kindly accepting, I think that you're like, yeah.
Yeah. And today also, like, we touched this and we both feel it, is so home also, there's a coloring for me of, so it's not just within us, but then also a place where we feel welcome and we feel like we can be all of ourselves, like physical place. But what comes with it, I think the most important is the relationships, is this
that are drawn in.
And is this like, so at least for me, because, and I would like to actually maybe go into like, so for me right now, and as I'm talking, like, okay, home, I want to be welcome, I want to be in my truth, I want to feel in this truth I can connect, so I don't have to pretend something, I don't have to be something, I can just,
there's no
trying. I can be messy, but I can also really thrive. Like I can create beauty, and there's also, and so, and
rest.
there's rest. There's the safety comes, which is a bit like, right, this is a place that, it's a space for me to cocoon, like also being like, and I think this is feminine in a way. It's like, oh, I can like close all the doors and all the windows, and I'm just gonna be in my cocoon process, and then I can go and meet the world again.
Yeah, that's the four walls, or
that's
like
the four
or
walls.
the yeah.
That's like, that's the tent, that's the and then what comes is the belonging. Like I also, because I cannot imagine home, at least right now, alone on the mountain. I'm not there. I know some people call that home. I have not chosen that in my life yet. Maybe one day, but so there is also like, a home is also, um, a belonging. And I know, like in Thailand or in these cultures, it is difficult. There's something where I really want to connect with the locals.
It's difficult for you to connect into the culture.
Yeah, because like if the culture is completely different, like if it's for example Thailand, like and I can learn there's like something like, oh, I want to learn the language, I can learn the language, there's a barrier, and that makes me feel like sad. It's there's like separation. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to belong and I
Mm.
don't really know how to also like culturally connect.
Mhm.
I've touched that because I've lived in so many countries, and so then there's also this like, right, like somehow because I was born white and there is some ancestors, and so there's also something kind of, or my soul is like calling me, like now South America is calling me, but the language is calling me, it's like easier, it's like I wanna actually go and
You bring this into home just so I'm
no, not that I'm looking for home in South America,
no,
but
I'm just trying to understand where you're going.
right,
Like if you
thank you.
can, yeah.
So I think there's like also what we said, like it's an, let's explore what home is, and I think it's like, right, it's in my body first, and then where does my body feel good, like that I can the body can, we talk about, so for me like language, like if my body really loves Spanish, because it is really like my heart, not my body, my heart loves this language, I don't know why, but it's just like it's a calling of my heart, and I'm like, okay, well, why would I not listen to that?
Mhm.
So it's completely not from the mind,
Mhm.
so just like listening where my body, my legs guides me sort of,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe if I really embody this feeling within myself, then the body will just gonna find a frequency as it walks around and listens and
Mm-hmm. Mm.
talks
Yeah.
to the nature and to people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was.
No, there's a lot of, I was trying to track there at the end just because I think you
Yeah, narrow
yeah.
me.
I think I mean, all of it's very rich, but I think you were just naming some basic foundational elements. Let's call it like a foundation of what home is. And so there's all the language and there's the places. I think but what it is, not what it's not. I think like, so then talking about what it is I think helpful.
Yeah.
Um, what it is that place where you can cocoon, that place where you're everything is welcome. I think the word welcome feels really rich. That feels, those feel true to me too. The other word that came for me, it was when you're talking about the mountain, is just let me talk. Is connection, because you were like, I can't go on the mountain because that's not where I am all alone. And what comes into my head, because I could, the part of me that would do that would be doing that because of connection. So I would be connected to the other than human in a big way. So whatever that mountain was and wherever that place was, I would have maybe like let go of human and connected to plants and mountains and bears and lakes and spirit and fish and, like whatever other thing I was doing. And I think then people that can really find home in nature, it's because they're people, you either go crazy because you're alone, or you disconnect from that part of you that feels alone, and then you're connected to everything. So I think that for me, home, and that's not what I'm looking for in home. So then the connection for me is very human. And I think as a species, we are attempting to make home, maybe redefine home, maybe like the big societal parts of us are trying to like true home. And what we're trying to do is find connection in so many ways. Like post COVID, we're just like, and we're trying to find a place to cocoon, but we have that. We have that in our four walls. What we then don't have is, and then in our communities we have connection. But for me, what I feel it's like the concept of an altar, like in my room, or let's say in my house or wherever, there's like a place where I have a shell and some things that mean something to me, and they're there and I tend them. I like that idea. If it's a place where I have some prayer and I have some connection points, but maybe there's like that altar is being tended by a larger group of people also. It's not just mine. So then maybe that altar is like outside and there's a community function, or I think it can be at a community center. There's some like gathering and central place that draws us together. Because for me, there is I find that like that's so much of what we're looking for in family. That's so much of what we're looking for when we are like looking for home, is actually like the ability to cocoon, but then to have people, our people, that we
Yeah.
can be like, oh, I've got something that's feeding me.
Yeah. Yeah. So home is also um it's a community in a way, or like
Yeah. And
it's a place to be with brothers and sisters. Like there is, in a way, there is family also in a home.
yeah, and it's, I think what, yes, and this is maybe the other piece, like, because I, going back to the body, I love that you're talking about that, and I love like all
Mm,
the pieces that,
mm,
so it's like the body as a microcosm is earth. It's made of earth. We're made of earth, and so we're place. Our body is the element of, I mean, it's all the elements.
mm,
But then all of these things that we need some physicality to them. So we like, I guess that's another way of saying we need, so we can find home in our body, but then once we do,
you know, manifest.
we're looking for that place somewhere else too. So we're looking
Mhm,
for like all of these things connected to a physical location. And then when you're talking about following my feet, I think this is the maybe the final piece that I would have to add. It's like we're looking for all of those places, but then the time period that we're at is this age of the internet, this age of air, this age of all of us, the beauty of being able to travel to places and get on planes. And actually there's a large part of us that we are nomadic and we like to move. So I think that there's such a, it's like, oh shit, okay, so I want a rooted, connected place where I can, where there's like an altar or there's prayer happening, and I can cocoon and it's safe and I can be myself, and there are other people, and I want to be able to move. And I don't want to go on vacation. I think most of us don't necessarily want to just go on vacation and do this thing that we've been doing, but there's a like, I do want to experience other place. So can we make home where there's some amount of, it's not just one place, it's there's a shared, and I think my answer is I don't know. So like from a studying what home is, it feels like, oh, I think um in our hearts, a lot of us are looking to connect with one land, but then to have those lands connected to many lands, and to have places and cultures connected to each other, so it not to be only Thailand or South America, and for it not to necessarily have to choose. Is that possible?
mm,
I don't know, but I think with technology it actually is. So it's how to put that together. So it's like, because we're already connected, and but we're just not connected. Our homes aren't connected. Our homes are quite disconnected. But the idea that you would have to choose between South America and Thailand in your heart after you're embodied is an interesting um, conundrum of like, is that are we meant to choose? Are we meant to sort of have to give ourselves to one? Maybe. I think some of us, yes, but not necessarily as a culture. Maybe as a, is that's not necessarily the it's a bit of a colonial, like it turns into a colonial mindset. So I don't know if I am
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, I'm hearing. Well, first of all, I think we're all, like, humans are all different, and there are certain, it's like if I would say we are different types of animals, you know. So some people are fish, and some people are more like bears. I think there's difference between us already, you know. I think it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard to put us all in one
Mm-hmm.
bag. I think there are people who loves to live all their life in one forest, in one
Yes.
country, and they have no need to travel.
Yes.
They're actually so happy in their microcosm.
Yes.
And I
And
think,
they're providing something rich for anybody else that
yeah,
passes through that
yeah,
microcosm, because
yeah,
they're the keeper and the steward and
exactly.
the wisdom. Yeah.
And then there's people who are very nomadic, and their nature is to move around, and they're very happy to actually move their house around. And I can see these people too.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
I think I cannot say what's right and what's wrong. And I see that because we are now able to travel so much, I would maybe agree with you. It would be interesting to question the concept of why do we need to stay in one place? Because I do feel that uh, maybe just as I'm like looking at it now, I'm like zooming out, I do see the tendency of like migrating, or like I think that the people actually, there's like a need of mixture and movement and interplay that was never here, was never possible. But also like I can see that if everybody actually would have the courage and the choice, and everybody wants to travel.
Ability, yeah.
Almost, but there is like I think majority of the human beings, they are like, yeah, let me.
We are wanderers, even if
We
it's
are
in short.
wanderers,
Yeah, we are wanderers.
and I think there's something beautiful about the human species, that that definitely big part of us is meant to mix and go and relocate and bring, and you know, and when I'm also um I was also feeling this. So as a kid, I was watching these fairy tales, and I was always thinking, this is a hero journey. And I was always thinking, so in the fairy tale, there's always this like the little boy, when he's 19 or 18, the father gives him a little bag, and he say, okay, now you go and explore what home is.
You're talking Czech fairy tales, because these are
Oh,
not
yeah?
mine. Yeah, these are
Okay.
fucking great.
So this is so in Czech there is
Yeah,
many
that's
many
good.
fairy
Oh,
tales
that's amazing.
about the boy who actually will meet the princess, but around the age of, he's a very
Wow.
good boy. He has a, you know, usually a farmer boy, and the father takes him around the age of like when he's like becoming a man. He gives him a bag and he says, okay son, now it's for you time to go and find your home, and I'm kicking you out of my home, but you're welcome to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these fairy tales are like the prince goes and he meets all these creatures, the hero journey, and then eventually maybe he meets a princess, and either he stays with her in her land, or he actually brings her back, and then he like chooses to come back home to his original place, but knowing what's outside. So there is also, I think this possibility of all of us going like, okay, let's me actually go explore home. The concept of what I want to create as a home, let me go out of my country, let me go out of my city, let me see what's around, and then I can choose, oh no, I actually want to bring this and that and then, and I will bring it back home where I was born, or I'm going to create home there, or this is not my environment. So there's something about following the feed, following the inner voice.
Yeah. I mean, I love this, and I just want to, personally, I don't like, I mean, we do have a culture of like, let's say the privileged of us taking gap years. Like everybody, you take 2 years and you get on trains and you travel around, and that's not necessarily a great look for the world, when just all the kids fuck off and get drunk together. You know, for like, it's not a bad thing. It does open up, but I think I think that there's also something deeper than just moving. And I don't know, I don't have it, but in the fairy tale, I think it speaks to it. It's like that kids maybe got some, maybe there's some purpose. Maybe he's finding home. I think so. I don't have it, but I just wanted, like, there's something that kind of like I grate against, that's like, just like the best thing we can do is movement for the purpose of movement, is to leave for the purpose of leaving, just to explore for the purpose of exploration. I think for some of us that's very true, and I do think we can go with learning, and we can go with the mystery, and we can go with learning like something about ourselves, but also with skills and with questions. And it's almost like I'm seeing a hive of bees. You know, like no bees. It looks like bees are just flying around willy nilly, like they're just out doing stuff. But actually, what they're doing is they're witnessing all of the beauty of nature, but really for purpose. They're pollinating things, and they're finding pollen, and they're going, and then they're bringing it back to a place. And so there's purpose.
So you're trying to say that if that would be the case, which I think the reason why in this fairy tales the boy leaves, the purpose of it is you go find who you are. And I think what maybe you're referring to is, because I don't really know this, you know, when somebody can go and go on a year vacation and and they're just maybe seeking for a party and seeking for.
There's a lot of that. I guess I just wanted to like.
So maybe for me, what you're saying is different because it's more like, oh, I'm taking a break from home. Like I'm actually going to party and I'm going to do all the things that I'm not allowed in my home.
Difference.
But I'm coming back. I'm just taking a break for 1 year, and I'm gonna like travel and do all these experiences for the sake of having fun. And I think that's what you're saying. So yeah, the intention would be like, no, I'm actually going to seek who I am. So what is it that I wanna embody as a home? Who am I to make a home? And so it's not partying. It's like, let me be very uncomfortable because I'm not in my safe environment that I know that I called home until now. But now I'm like in the uncomfort of not having a physical.
I'm also reminded of the, like, I love the proverb. It's like a shaman. It's like the purpose of the human is to bring a shell from the sea to the mountaintop, and the purpose of that is to introduce the sea to the mountain. And so until the human, the sea and the mountain couldn't actually, like, they're so, you know, while they're both the planet, it's the human that allows through their eyes and through their ears and through their feet for Earth to meet itself. And we are Earth walking. And so, like, I think what you're saying, it's like, I think maybe the difference in what I'm saying is it can be a path of self-discovery, and that's beautiful, but it doesn't have to be such a self-focused endeavor. It could also just be, I'm here to pray. Like, I'm here to know the ocean and to know the mountain and to learn with these things. And it's actually not about me. I'm here to be of service. And I don't know if that's entirely possible, but from a values perspective, with the youth that I see, I think a lot of people, it's like, yeah, it's great, I do want to know myself, but really I can kind of see the state of the world, and I'd kind of like to be of good use. Like, I think a lot of kids, like, and I'll find myself along the way. Like, that's, and I think that as a species, if we can recognize that it doesn't have to be all about us, especially at this young age, we can just be like, we can be of service to many things in many different ways.
So service in this case would be like, it's a bit confusing. I'm like, service, but it could be like, okay, I'm going on a journey, on a quest, and I'm gonna be with the moment to moment, the mystery, and I'm just gonna do always my best in that moment to do something good, right? Like, I'm gonna go and I meet this lady on the train. She needs help. I don't know. Like, what is this service? Or she's gonna ask me help. I'm gonna end up in this place and I'm gonna start to sell fruits because I end up on I'm just trying to understand the service part.
Okay.
Like, be good to the mystery, following the mystery.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To be good. There's like, I'm more, one, I don't have an answer for what everybody should do or how to do it, and I don't think we do as a regular. I think what I believe we're doing is exploring the idea of home, and I would say that I desire, and I think many of us desire, a culture that understands home. I desire a culture, to live in a culture within our larger culture, but to have a family of, let's say, 100 or 1,000 or whatever people that understand the conception of home to be a bit bigger than the place that they live, and that the youth of those places understand that when they travel, they're traveling between home. Home is many places.
And treating everywhere like a home,
or discovering it where there's a lot to do. So I don't know how to do it. I'm not pretending that I have an answer for what all the kids of the youth should do. What I am comfortable saying about my own life is, and about, I think, our next year is, it feels important to get to know home and to maybe recreate the conception, and to probably broaden it a little bit, but also to get a little bit more disciplined. And maybe there's something about values in here. Like, what are our values? Because if a kid who's 18 or 20 or 25, or if I'm am walking and traveling with an understanding of shared values and what values are, and I'm going and I'm traveling between places, I'm probably, and I'm going to lands where I know that those people share my values, and there's a language, there's essentially a shared cultural language in places. I think that is possible. That's possible with technology. It takes a lot of work to put something like that together, but I think that there are people working on it. So I don't know how to give the answer to the woman on the train because it's so circumstantial, but it's like, yeah, I think that as I'm searching for how to be at home, there's a deep rootedness that I want, and there's a deep ability to move. And I see that desire in my daughter, and I see that desire in people, that we are both looking for some place to belong, and places to go share that belonging with. And it's hard to figure that out. So home is that's why to me home is like, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think maybe to bring it and to end or to conclude, I like the idea of I just was listening to it, I was like, oh, what if I walk around being like, I don't know what home is because I never had it, or I feel like I have actually really, like I feel like I've touched places where I was like, and within myself too, like there's moments when I feel very much at home, but I don't have it. So I don't have it. Looks like we don't have it. We're looking
together.
We're exploring the idea of what it is. Maybe first it's like, okay, what are the values that will then also guide us? What is it that we value, that we, and then maybe also like there is something what you said. I was like, what if I travel around being like, which I hope to a certain degree I am doing, is like everywhere is in a way home, even though if it's a completely foreign country, it's Earth, so it is a home. Even if it's like Thailand, it's still Earth, and so I'm an Earth being, so I'm home there. It's a very new and strange home, but can I like meet all the newness and like share my values, and then also take the values that it's offering me, and then see what's there. And so maybe that's a beautiful way of like, because I see this, the world is becoming so accessible, and the beauty of us moving and creating. Maybe there's something about like, maybe I was speaking to, it's like, why do we need to call home one place and one like closed area?
Yes.
If we would have made home everywhere, and then people from China comes to Africa and they feel home in Africa,
we all need to be in on the same.
How crazy and wonderful would that be?
But we need to be in on that with each other. So it's like we need to expand.
And there's this welcoming, right? There's this like, so everybody's welcome.
It's like, hi,
everybody's can be. They don't. So it's a whole journey. But it's like
it feels great in the body. It's quite difficult to figure out and make from a governance standpoint, but yeah, a resource sharing.
We talk about the borderless, but you talked about it. You think about it a lot, but I think what I can be more like, okay, well, this sounds really complicated. How can I do it in my own way? Which is like, okay, can I just be open? Just be open to, and drop off the idea of that I know what it is.
Stop looking.
Stop looking.
Stop looking for a time. Not forever, but for a time.
And just
stop trying to get every place to be it, and just start to see what places have to offer you.
Yes.
And then just learn.
Offer.
Yeah, yes.
Receive, offer, and I think there's gonna be a moment when I'm like, whoa, my body doesn't wanna maybe move from here.
Then you're like, I might have found something. Yeah, instead of being like, are you?
Which doesn't mean that in 2 years I might not take a vacation, 100%. Not vacation, but like
you might find out that home is just for 2 years somewhere, and then you might find out, because we don't know what home is. So that's like,
yes. So right now, let's try to make home in here. In this, which I'm feeling home in your truck. In your comfort.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm gonna take it
That's impressive.
on the video.
Yeah. Yeah, in my truck.
Yeah. Feels like home. Yeah. Thank you.